Greetings, fellow beings. Ho ho! It is a wonderful Friday afternoon, evening, or maybe it's even Saturday for you. Depends on where you are in the world. I mean, I have fans everywhere. So humble. Anyway, we've got a lot going on. Today is the post flight number 19 with a very special guest, a man that I've known almost since I started doing this. Somebody who is rather impressive, massively amazing resume, lots of awesome artistic works. I mean, a wonderful commentator on YouTube, somebody who has an inquisitive mind and can suss a lot out. But before we get to introducing Geary, okay, my buddy Gary, we have a couple of people that dropped some magical things, like Scott Westbrook dropped 5 Culture Casino memberships. Hopefully, you guys can hear me. Happy Friday to you. I am back on the main computer, so I had to rebuild a lot of toys, but they're working now. And we've got, of course, Bear Beard Whiskers giving 1 Culture Casino membership. Thank you for that. Truly appreciate it. I know the person that got it, like Larry, appreciates it. So, and we've so far have 6 gifted memberships. It's fantastic. But without further ado, a dude. No, actually, he's a dude. We're going to talk real quickly to Geary. Oh, look, Tina Beebe's here. Good to see you. And Drew's here. What's up, Drew? Look at these people. I hope you guys are all just going to hang out here. We got an hour and a half worth of show to go. Anima has been Saturday for an hour and a half. My goodness, you're up late. Popsicle's here. What's going on? Popsicle. We got Martin Acosta Santana. Great to see you, my friend. It's been a minute. Greetings, my excellent friends. That's right. Nano Reaper's here. He's sailing into the weekend. Awesome. Go get those Marlins, buddy. Let me tell you. Phoenix Knights hanging out with us, and several more folks. All right, let's get to it. Let's introduce Geary. Geary, like I said, I already said nice things about him. I don't feel like I need to say anything else nice about him at all. So let's just jump into it. How's it going, Geary? You doing good, buddy?
Don't say too much nice shit about me. It bugs me. And by the way, Martin Acosta Santana is, of course, our producer over on Pop
Yeah.
Culture Minefield. I'd have so much trouble doing those shows if not for him. And Shinatsky is the one. You'll see his animated trailer for the comic book, the graphic novel.
Oh.
So it's just really good to be here, Culture. Yeah,
Yeah.
we've been friends for a minute.
Yeah, I was going to say like 4 years now almost or something like that.
We're the 2 long-haired weirdos, even though you cut yours all off again.
Yeah, I have to do that every once in a while. I got to donate
you donated it, which I think
Yeah.
is really cool. I haven't done that in 2014 was the last time I donated hair.
Yeah, but I mean, it's just it's good. It's one of those things that I can do. So I do. That doesn't sound good either.
You do.
I do. I do. Speaking
I
of
do, do it.
yeah, but you do a lot of other amazing things, my friend. You have created several things that live on in history. You're rather famous now. Why don't you tell people, introduce yourself, because that's kind of what this introduction's all about. And we can take a look at maybe some of the work that you've been doing.
Well, yeah, and I've pulled up because I'm actually going to be doing. We got the rights back to my book, Code Word Geronimo, and of course everybody that knows me knows I work for Dale Dye, Captain Dale Dye, and his wife Julie is my direct boss. She's also one of my closest friends, and we are going to reproduce this book with updated artwork and editorial corrections, historical editorial corrections.
Wow.
To the new book. It is the first graphic novel to be awarded the Military Writers Association of America award. I'm proud of that.
Wow.
And I am the artist with the single most book covers that have been awarded the Military Writers Award. So I'm proud of that. And I work for a guy who's the single most Oscar-winning military advisor in the history of film. So kind of cool shit. Oh, hey. Motor scooter. But I'll drop that back down because I was just wanting to show that off. I'm going to be going over. Well, this is just something I was telling you about that you can find me on Wikipedia, oddly, under 2 spots. Here, I'm under the alumni from my high school, which includes Judge Reinhold, who I went to high school with. I actually remember him. And we're friends on Facebook. let's see, several other athletes. These are mostly athletes. And then, of course, Keller Williams. I was in a band with this guy together. And then, of course, I actually have a page on me on Wikipedia, which is weird. It's just weird that IDW went through the trouble of putting this page up for me to explain who the hell I am and weird shit like that. Then, of course, if you get online and you look up my name, which is spelled weird, Gerry
Yeah, that's why I call you Geary.
Geary. And if you go there, you can see all my artwork, some cool shit I've done over the years, books, graphic novels, comic books. I've worked with some top studios. I worked on the Army of Two comic series for EA and IDW. I worked on the A-Team tie-in graphic novel, The Iron Sky. In fact, there wouldn't have been an Iron Sky. Yeah, Shinatsky. There wouldn't have been an Iron Sky graphic novel if I hadn't pushed them to do it. Hi, Michelle. And that's pretty much it. It's Saturday morning here in 30 minutes. Yeah, Anima is over in Austria, so it's like middle of the night there for her.
Or as we say in German, Österreich. That's true. Ask
I know.
anybody. Yeah.
Ich weiß nicht.
Huh?
Do you speak German?
Was ist los, mein Freund?
Yeah, was ist los, mein Freund? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I am out of practice, but yes.
So this is my portfolio if you guys want to go there. But this is the campaign page. And can I share it through the chat, or how do I do that? Can I do that with them?
You want to? Yeah, you can. Yeah, I think you can. Should be able to.
I'm looking and I don't see how
if you go down to the if you go down to the chat in where the main chat is under comments at the bottom, it says post a comment, or it should say that.
Nope.
No. All right.
I'm going to put it in the private chat.
Yeah,
I can't even do that. Where's that at?
Yeah. It should at the very bottom of the window.
We're at the bottom of the window. It's really weird. Right
up above your head.
Yeah, I'm not seeing it.
It says private chat.
Not popping up. How weird. I'm going to send it to you on Twitter.
Okay.
That way. Oh,
that's easier.
Twitter account. So, although you can friend me over there at Gerry Kissell on Twitter, and
you should. He's a good follow.
And it's fun. I'm always either saying something funny or something political, or sometimes both. So, but I saw one of the questions you wanted to ask was like, what was my favorite TV show?
Oh, we'll get there in a minute. Don't spoil it.
Because I get excited about that stuff.
We have a format.
Yes, I know. I love this format you've got.
Yeah.
There we go. And I just sent it to you.
Sweet. Thanks.
So that's the campaign, because I can't seem to find where to post and comment on here. It's weird. But I don't know. I started this campaign 10 years ago, and it just sort of fizzled because I had to work on my career and raise my daughter there in Phoenix. And I was just like, took a break from this book. And it's been 10 years, and I finally said, it's time to finish this book and start doing some other projects, because we're in a down economy, and I need to generate work. You know, it's hard to find work, especially at my age. So Vindicated Inc. is something I've been working hard on for years. And when I came up with it, I wanted to tell the story of a disabled veteran who becomes a hero. And because nobody else seemed to really want to do something like that. And I focus all my energies on being, because I am a veteran. I love dealing with veteran issues. And yes, there's the campaign link.
Yep.
And this story is, and once again, I want to point out that Chuck Dixon and Mike Barron, you can see part of their reviews right there.
Wow.
Love this book. They got to read 3 chapters, which I think I sent to you too.
You did. Yeah, you did. Yep. And somebody let the cat out of the bag. I know who your story editor is.
Yeah, Script Doctor. That's right. Script Doctor is not only one of my closest friends, he is also now my editor. Used to be Tom Waltz, the senior writer of IDW, but his schedule is nuts because he's still working on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and My Little Pony. That guy never has a free minute. I turned to Script Doctor and I said, would you like to do that? because I need to make sure that I'm doing this correctly. And he's read everything I've written so far, and he's adores what I'm writing, which makes me very proud that he likes my writing. So I'm not just a good artist, I'm a very good writer, and I know that, and I like being. Penny is here. Hi, Penny.
Yeah.
So this book is very close to my heart. I hired other writers to write the scripts for me. Hey, Stackhouse is here.
Yeah.
What's up? And I paid them. They got all the money from the first crowdfunding campaign, and then I fired them and threw everything they wrote out because they didn't understand the story. And I realized after time, I'm the only one that can tell this story, or somebody like me. And, to talk what it's like being a veteran, to talk about veteran issues. I worked in the VA for a period of time dealing directly with disabled veterans. Some of my favorite people are disabled veterans. Majority of my closest friends are veterans, combat veterans, period, and I love being around them. And there's just something. In 2006, I made a decision that the rest of my life is going to be focused on telling military veteran stories. Even if it's fictional, I'm going to tell it. And this story still tells a lot of truth in the process of what veterans go through when they become disabled and the frustration. So not only is this a straightforward action thriller with great action in it, and I know it's got great action in it because people who've read it, Chuck Dixon and Mike Barron in particular, they're like, this is gritty, realistic combat. And it goes to the streets of Seattle when this guy gets frustrated being put on the med board process, which is a nightmare for veterans. And in his frustration, he becomes a vigilante to take out his frustration. But he realizes that he's having an impact on society around him. And he's like, oh my God, I better take what I'm doing seriously. And he does. And so he mounts a war against organized crime in the city. And people think Seattle doesn't have organized crime. It certainly does. I lived there, and I know the problems they had with crime. I got caught in the middle of a shootout in Harborview Hospital between rival gangs and the police department. And I grabbed my partner and I duck walked the hell out of there. I was a paramedic for years in Seattle after I got out of the Army. And I love that city. I really do. And I hate seeing what's happened to it in the last few years. It's just disgusting. And but this story actually doesn't take place now. This story takes place over a decade ago. And it's inspired by, hi, Sherry. This story takes place and is inspired by the true events of 1989 when a U.S. Army Ranger team got messed with by a major gang in Seattle right when they first set foot in the city and started to try to establish themselves. They tried to bully these soldiers, and the soldiers brought their gear, went full battle rattle, and took them on at their house. And people died. And none of the soldiers were arrested. It's a weird story. And it's mentioned on this page. I have the original article, which is right here. Army Rangers gang members shoot it out. And it really did happen. And it serves as a mild inspiration. If you go to this campaign page, you can see the trailer, which I'll play for you whenever you say I can.
Yeah.
You can also watch the original interview I did with Duncan Skinner, an English friend of mine, actor, TV and film. And of course, you can read some of the information about the book. But more importantly, you can find out right here. This is what the story's about right there. And it's about a soldier that decides to do something about society and the crimes that are going on. He's tired of people being hurt by the crime. And he discovers an even greater crime, which I hate letting the cat out of the bag.
Yeah, don't.
But it deals with human trafficking.
Oh, boy.
And he's not even aware of it at first. This is something he becomes aware of during the process of trying to help somebody. This is one of my favorite covers. And by the way, my covers are not from scenes in the book. I want to do scenes where I think they'll be cool. And this is a scene that never happens in the book, at least not this book, where he gets his MTech armor shot off, battle damage. And this is the one that's also being converted into a 1/6 and 1/12 scale maquette for people to get through their contributions. And later on, they can just flat out buy it once we turn it into a store. Because after the campaign is over, it becomes a storefront.
That's cool.
And you can also download 2 chapters, and you can read them for free. And chapter 1, God judges his heroes by their scars. I love titles like this shit. And of course, chapter 3, a leg to stand on, which is ironic because he has a prosthesis. And that's the secret for him. That's his secret identity. Is not so much just his identity, but the fact that he's doing all of this, fighting these criminals, straight up combat with a prosthetic leg on.
Well, I can't wait to get further into this, and we're going to have you play your trailer when we get to the end of the stream. So you're going to want to stick around for that, folks. I think it's worthwhile after having seen it over there on Fund My Comics. So do check that out. The link is in the chat. We'll post it again here in a moment. But let's get to the show proper. Are you ready, Gerry?
Yeah, man. I'm ready when you are.
All right, because I promise you, we'll get back to this, and I want everybody to see that trailer. Let's get to it. Let's get to 3 questions. Oh, this is not it. Why do we have this up there? It's
an alligator.
Oh, hey, look, it's the chat. Okay, hi, chat.
Hey, chat.
All right, we're on 3 questions now, folks, and you can fire in your thoughts on what he says. That's why the chat's up here. But we're gonna get to these 3 questions. The most important one is this is the gauge, just to gauge you as a man of sophistication and culture, Gerry.
Okay.
What, sir, is your favorite television show?
Well, I know this is a staple for a lot of people, and I hate to just jump to it, but it is my favorite show of all time is Star Trek.
Oh, there you go. Which one?
Star Trek.
Oh, TOS.
I just call it Star Trek.
TOS. All right. Well, you and I are old, so yeah. I mean, it was just in syndication when I was old enough to dig it.
I actually got to watch the last season.
Wow.
I was old enough to remember it. And but I loved it. I love that show. It scared the shit out of me because when I was little, the Gorn freaked me out.
Oh yeah. Yeah, not a fan of the Gorn. Not a fan of the Gorn. But yeah, TOS, awesome. Yeah, I think I spent many an hour watching TOS in my youth. It played in syndication for all of my youth. That's how popular the show was, even after it'd been gone for so very long. I remember that. Good choice, my friend. All right. Let's see. In the chat, you can see that low spec Linux laptop. Love MASH. I thought MASH was.
Hey, I know low spec. Well. Yeah, what's up, man?
Yeah. Carlos Alfredo Lopez says hi to Gerry. So does TZ Burton. What's going on?
What's up?
Yeah. And SFXF314 Sabertooth Raptor says, I'm glad you're helping veterans and writing veteran stories. I had several family members in the military, Gerry. 2 in World War II. 1 flew B-24s. Well, thank you. Yeah.
All the men in my family served. I was hoping my daughter would break the mold and serve, but she ended up not. But my middle son served.
Yeah, that's awesome. I was asked how I'm feeling. Way better. JT Gunn, late night with Cap. I am way better. I still have a little bit of a headache. It's going to be the next 3 or 4 days that it's going to pop in and out. It just does it. I don't have any control. And I'm way less congested than I have been in a while, so that's a good thing. But we got the favorite polar bear here, Snortopoopas Q Burr.
Snortopoopas, yeah.
Yeah. Carlos Alfredo Lopez says, original Star Trek was great. Enjoyed watching it with my elder brothers. That's right. Shinatsky, what's up, man? The Prisoner is my favorite TV series.
I love that show, too. I actually enjoyed Doctor Who as a kid, but the Doctor Who I watched when I was little was Peter Cushing in the movies, the 2 movies.
Anima likes Stargate Atlantis, I believe. I think that's what SGA is. My dad went to school with Klinger, says TZ Burton. Wow, that's cool.
My big thing, because I'm mildly on the spectrum and I'm OCD as hell, and you can tell by the eyebrow, I'm a Spock fan. Because Spock, it represented us, those of us that were really like intelligent, because I was a nerd, a geek, whatever you want to call it, smart kid, and sciences are my playground. And man, Spock was it for me as a kid. I just wanted to be Spock. That's all I wanted to be.
Wow, Jared Markham says my favorite TV series is a series called Suit, Thomas F.B. It was a procedural about a deaf woman um, who became an FB. My favorite TV series is called Suit Thomas FB. Awesome. Deleted scenes. What's up? Martin Acosta Santana loves Babylon 5.
Yep. I think we all did, but they love it more than me. Because I mean, my God, I thought I loved it until they started talking about it, and they went, "Man, I don't know what the hell you're talking about."
Let's see.
E. Clay Thomason's here. What's up, man?
What's up, E. Clay? And my buddy Rob Altus. Let's silence.
I know Rob.
Rob Altus for $5 says, "Hey, Gerry.
What's up,
Culture,
Rob?
Hope you feel better." TOS is also my favorite. I feel a lot better, guys. I'm going to have these migraines for like the better part of the next few weeks. It's normal. And I'm going to have the congestion. I can't do anything about it. And the little bit of whatever cold or whatever I had is gone. So I'm much better, guys.
Well, I do hope you feel better. By the way, I'll give you 2 other shows that were on my top favorites as a kid.
Sure. Yeah.
Space 1999 and Mission Impossible.
Oh.
I love both those shows. Both of them
was great.
Because Martin Landau is in Mission Impossible, and Leonard Nimoy later is in Mission Impossible, and Martin Landau is in Space 1999, and so there you go. They're all connected.
There you go. We've got a deleted scene saying, catching up on 2 times speed.
Hi, Stephen.
Quite a day. Well,
That's Stephen.
Stephen. Good to see you, bud. Read by Nature's in the house. What's going on?
Read by Nature, man. I know all these people.
I know. It's amazing. We share an audience.
Well, it's a community. I look at us as a community. We're all part of this community, a greater community. And I'm so I get excited when you guys put out a new show and you start talking about something real. And I can hardly wait to talk about it on like Friday. I'll bring it up on a Friday and like, did you see what Culture or what Valiant said today? Oh my God.
Yeah, sometimes Valiant was on a roll this week. He dropped a couple this week where he had like a closing line that was just chef's kiss. Jared Markham says it's based on the Suit Thomas. Yeah, Sue Thomas, who went deaf at an early age and ultimately became somewhat successful federal agent.
For the FBI. Got you. I know who it is. Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Tender Warrior, I already said hi to. Look, M. Tax Shark is here. Season 1 of Space 1999 was awesome.
Season 2 is acceptable, and the irony is the guy that destroyed Star Trek destroyed Space 1999 too. Same guy, showrunner.
Yeah, it happens. Yeah, and we did lose one of the 2 members of Starsky
David
and
Soul
Hutch
today.
David Soul. Yeah, that was not good news to wake up to this morning.
No.
And I didn't have a chance to cover that on the 6 Minute Daily. I didn't get any of the people that passed in the last week.
We talked about it on our earlier show. Even once we were done with the interview with Fund My Comic guys, we talked about it, David Soul, because I remind people, man, that guy wasn't just a great actor. He was a songwriter, and he wrote a great song, Don't Give Up on Us, Baby.
Well, and it's funny how many actors of that era were also did music. I mean, it's pretty amazing. A lot of them did country primarily. Sorry, I'm pouring a bit of a drink here.
We won't mention William Shatner, though.
Yeah, that's like poetry rap that he did. I feel like he was like a poetry
man.
Yeah. No, thanks. I love the guy, but no. Speaking of which, we have another question for you of the 3 questions. Are you ready, Gerry?
I'm ready.
All right. What film is your go-to film when you're homesick? Or another way to ask it is, what's your comfort film?
Well, I just brought this up the other day because I was talking about film, because they put that meme that goes around or post that goes around like, what film have you seen 7 times? I'm like going, 7 times? You're talking to nerds. Like, what film have you seen 25 to 100 times? And for me, my number 1 film will always be Blade Runner. And I prefer the theatrical cut. I'm such a fan of Blade Runner because here's another thing you may not know. I'm the founder of the Blade Runner fan club. Bladezone.com, the number 1 Blade Runner website in the world. I gave up running it in 2002. It's now run by another Gary Willoughby. And, but I still host the Facebook page, manage it. And I do interviews. I had November previous year, I did an interview with the entire, some of the living crew and cast on, and I'm friends with a lot of the cast and crew. And I just like doing a Blade Runner show. Andre jumped on the Conan one, and he and I want to do, Andre from Midnight's Edge.
Yeah.
We want to do another Blade Runner one because we're going to start losing these people. They're going. They're getting older. They're already in their 80s. So I want to get interviews with these guys and get as much said and done from them as we can get before we lose them. So big Blade Runner fan. But my next one, when I'm homesick and I want to watch something, is The Thing, 1982.
Yeah,
John Carpenter.
It's very, very good. Speaking of a very, very good question, the Peter Venkman fan site. Hello, good to see you.
Venkman's girl.
That's right. Venkman's girl says, ask Gerry about his Trump biscuits. Oh boy.
Trump biscuits? I don't know what she's talking about.
This sounds like some inside baseball.
I don't know. What are you talking about, Venkman's girl? What are you talking about? I am a big Trump supporter. So,
Eclay says Deckard was a replicant.
Oh, Eclay knows it's going to trigger me. No, I'm not letting you, dude.
All right. And I tell you what, let's get to the final question because we've got a lot to get through, and I still want you to have some time at the end to promote the rest of it and show everybody the trailer for your amazing comic, Vindicated. Oh, by the way, someone said in the chat that if you re-release your first comic,
Code Word Geronimo.
Yeah, they would buy it. This is
the book is already done. It's just I'm working directly with Dale and Julia on this, and John Del Vecchio, because I had a business partnership with them back in 2006. I've been working for Dale for 18 years, and basically we're all business partners with a company called Charlie Foxtrot Entertainment, and which means Charlie Foxtrot in military slang means clusterfuck.
Yeah,
and I just thought it'd be funny to name a company that.
It makes perfect sense. FKHC 2005 says, well, it looks like they're going to be 43 if my math is right.
Yeah.
Well, congratulations, and remind me next Friday. I will sing
happy birthday, Tim. That's Tim, by the way.
Oh, hi, Tim. Project Cambrian is here. What's going on? Good to see you. And Shrek PMC's in the house. What's going on? Planning on having a picnic.
See? Yeah. I met them through Midnight's Edge.
Yeah, we've got great people in the audience. Very, very much love my audience. And Keely Chow, who I always have to say.
I know Keely too.
Yeah.
I know Keely too. Good dude.
And I think Memes is here.
Memes of destruction? Oh no, we can't have that. There goes the show.
All I know is this. What's the answer to life, the universe, and everything?
42.
That's right.
And don't forget your towel.
Wow, we're nerds. All right, final question. Final question. And this is a weird one because I always have to give clarity on it. What was your best film experience?
It was 1981.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sitting in a theater. I had just gone to see Manhunt with Lee Marvin and Charles Bronson. And if you saw The Late Show, the final show of the evening, you got to watch for free the premiere of Raiders of the Lost Ark.
Oh.
And so my dad are sitting in that theater. There's hardly anybody in that theater. But we got to watch Raiders of the Lost Ark for the first time. And it was my first experience with people standing up and cheering in a movie. When he shot the Arab swordsman. Everybody stood up and cheered. And I'd never seen anything like that. And that was my weirdest experience in a movie theater. Seeing that as a kid.
Well, I have to tell you, Raiders is a very important film to a lot of us, which is why the most recent exploitation of the character was ridiculous.
Yeah, the only thing I even remotely enjoyed was the 20-minute intro. And I only kind of enjoyed it. Yeah. The rest of it, I have no use for. I didn't even watch it. I just watched that intro because someone told me to watch it. I'm like, okay.
Jason Dugdale for £2 sterling. That's proper money, kids. Says, is the 1980s the best for movies and television series?
Hands down. Hands
There's
down.
no
Absolutely.
sorry, you have 2 guys here that, like, that was our heyday, so yes, it was the
Well,
best.
I
And
remember the
back in the
'70s.
70s
I think I'm a
yeah.
little older than you,
Oh,
and
really?
I watched a lot of TV. I was born in '64,
Oh, yeah, you are a little older than me. That's
okay?
amazing. Yeah.
I'm older than Keith by, like, 4 years. He was
Oh,
born in
wow.
'68, and I was born in '64, and, um, and I just, I remember the '70s. I loved the '70s, but the '80s, not even just for the TV, but the films were so much better in the '80s because they were very experimental. It was like the Wild West for making horror in particular and sci-fi. And you just didn't see more stuff come out than in the '80s. I mean, some of the greatest films ever made for science fiction in particular, Ghostbusters, Star Trek, Predator, all these films and vampire films. You didn't get better vampire films since the 1930s. 92 was a good, yes, that was my favorite year, 1982. Sort
Not
of
good for
produced.
girlfriends, though, but, yeah. Oh, and I have to say hi to Morgan King. Hey, Morgan King. Hope you're doing well, my friend.
I'm waving my hand even though you can't see it. I'm wearing black gloves because I'm in the garage. It's cold out here.
Oh, you're freezing. Why would you do that?
It's
Yeah.
private.
Yeah.
That's why
Jared Markham says, my dad was also born in 64.
it was a very good year. That was the year we saw the Beatles hit in '63, but they didn't really hit big in the U.S. until '64, and that's when they took over.
Yeah.
And I loved all the stuff that occurred in '64. So many cool things. I share a birthday with Pete Townsend, who's a hero of mine when it comes to music.
Yeah, Pete's amazing. Well, we made it through the 3 questions, Gary. How you feel?
I'm nervous, man. I'm so scared.
Okay, all right,
I'm
fair
having a
enough.
good time with you, man.
All right, well, I'm always having a great time, and I'm so glad you're here. In fact, I'm grateful that you're here. Why? Well, because we've got some weird news.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, weird news. Now that we're here with weird news, as you can see, I don't know what's happening right now. Let's try that again. That was weird. Speaking of weird news, um, we have some things now. Normally, I let the guest pick the first of the 5 weird news stories that we're going to talk about, and really, it's just about your reaction, your thoughts on whatever the story is. But I'm going to have to use some codes, not quite exactly explaining what's going on. So I'm going to let you pick. So I'm going to give you 5 things, and you pick the first one. So the first one could be a gator in a boat. Um, the waves glow. Um, snake in a loo. Um, why be slothful when you can be twice so? And I can't get enough marathons.
Okay, so I pick. Is that what you said? Okay, so I'm going to pick gator in a boat because I want to know what's going on with this gator in a boat.
All right. So before we get to Gator in a Boat, we have a super chat from our good friend E. Clay Thomason for $5.
$5. What they
And he says,
bargain?
Raiders is my best theater experience also. I saw it in a theater with a 150-degree screen. It was awesome seeing the Boulder Road down on that huge
Wow.
screen. Huh. I also saw it on a very wide panoramic kind of screen.
I will point out one little thing before we move on is I went to see, when I was in the Army, I went to see Total Recall on an IMAX screen down in Texas. And that was something else, watching Total Recall on IMAX.
That would be something else. That's awesome. A good question about beards. I use beard oil, and pretty soon you'll be able to buy my beard oil because my Finally, my
Oh my
product
God,
line.
I'm sorry.
My product line is launching finally.
You're just gonna
Finally.
wring it out and sell it?
No, I'm going to be selling beard oil
You're
and
making your own.
yeah,
Okay, it's
beard
not a
oil.
wax, it's an oil.
Yes, yeah, beard oil, and also you'll be able to get beard and hair products that I'm offering, and some skin products like some moisturizer and stuff like that. So it's so close, and you'll be able to get that at my site beachpunk.us here in the near future. And you can even subscribe to it in the future when it is launched because you'll be able to get it replenished in various increments that you choose. So there you go.
Very
But
cool.
real quick, getting to your story. Are you ready for your story? I'm
Oh,
ready for
me?
your
Oh,
yeah.
I thought we were gonna talk some more about the alligator.
We are. Here it
Oh,
is.
okay, okay.
Here it is. Oops, burp. There we go. Large alligator jumps into Australian man's boat. That's right. On January 3rd, this was reported by the UPI. Ben Hooper does all the weird news for UPI. And wildlife officials in Queensland, Australia, are investigating a report of a large crocodile that jumped out the water.
Crikey.
Yeah. And into an angler's boat. Angler is a fancy way to say fishing, folks. The Queensland's Department of Environmental Science and Innovation said the man was fishing in his tin boat at Jane Creek near St. Helens Beach in the north area of Mackay. I don't know any of these places. So for those of you that are my Australian fans, if you have things to add, please. The man said he had been fishing around 4 hours, and when he saw the large crocodile approaching the boat, he moved to the back of the vessel and started the engine. The crocodile swam under the tinny. That's a fancy way for saying boat. And then turned and launched itself up and onto the vessel with its jaws wide open. But the angler jumped over the crocodile to haul in his anchor, and the reptile fell back in the water when it attempted to pivot its body. So the officer said that the large croc bent the rails of the boat as it fell. The fisherman went to the boat ramp at Black Rock Creek and told us he had never seen such a large crocodile behaving that way in the region before. Burns said officials are posting warning signs in the area and will attempt to locate the crocodile and monitor its behavior.
Attempted boat jacking by croc.
By a big old dial. Yeah.
Look at
See,
that.
and I fooled you because I said a gator, I think. But anyway.
Gator, yeah.
All right, fair enough. I didn't want to give away the locale. All right. So you don't get to pick anymore, which is a bummer. So let's go to the waves glow, because the waves in California beaches glow with bioluminescent algae at night. Now, this is a
Yep.
phenomenon that Gerry's probably familiar with.
Yep.
All along the Southern California coast, depending upon the time of year.
And it is beautiful to see.
Yeah, an unusual type of algae is coming close to shore in California, leading to a phenomenon known as bioluminescence, or glowing waves. The Orange County beaches this week reported spotting the glowing blue waves in multiple locations during nighttime hours, and charter boat services have been offering special after-dark tours of the illuminated waters. The phenomenon is caused by an algae known as Lingulodynium polyhedra, which is known for its bioluminescence, or natural glowing when it reacts to being moved by the water. The glowing waves respond with the red tide in algae bloom that can cause waters to appear red, brown, or orange during the day due to the presence of the algae. It's the same type of organism when you have a red tide, which gives the water kind of an orangish brown, yada, yada, yada. But at night, when disturbed, they produce bioluminescence. So when there's a lot of agitation in the surf, it can agitate the bioluminescence, which makes the waves appear to glow. Cool stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Cool story, bro.
Yeah, bioluminescence is something I've always been fascinated by, like those glowworms in the caves that drop a string down of saliva, and then it's got goo on it, and it catches bugs, and then they just haul it up.
Yeah, the fish
and
is
eat it.
weird. It's weird.
Yep.
Weird.
Or as John Kenny would say, weird.
There you go. Yeah. Oh yeah, somebody's talking about the gumbo. Yeah, I bet you that crocodile would make good gumbo.
Yeah, I don't know about you, but I love eating alligator.
Eclay says there's a thing called Google Maps. Thanks. Project Cambrian says 10% off waxing services. No, I don't do that.
Different kind of waxing.
That's right. Amelia Clark's scroll arm. Hey-o! What's going on? Apparently, Anima's seen the bioluminescent stuff. That's cool. It's an oil slick from Gavin Newsom's hair products. Well, maybe. Not sure I could. I'm not sure I could contest that, to be fair. What's up, Channel Surf? Says Stinky. There you go. Possessed beaches, says Art Acosta's hand.
You got to understand with his accent, it sounds like he's saying bitches.
Oh, beaches?
That's why he's saying it.
All right. Let's see. Read by Nature didn't know that happened in California, but saw a documentary about somewhere exotic type water would light up via bioluminescence if disturbed, such as if you swam in it. Oh, yeah, I bet you that would do it too. This is important to note. Never wax a bear, polar or otherwise.
I concur.
Shrek's catching up. Good to see you. Wait a minute. Is Geary's girlfriend? Oh, Anima.
Yeah, she likes me. She loves me. It's weird.
It's beyond all of us, to be fair.
It's just makes no sense. It's like the third season of Star Trek. Just what?
Makes no sense. All right. Well, I'm fixing this. It took me half the segment here to get you back on top there, Geary.
But I'm a power bottom. Everybody knows that.
Wow, did I not want to know any of that? Speaking of things I did not want to know, back to Australia, everybody. A venomous snake was removed from a public loo or toilet in Australia. That's right. Apparently, a wildlife wrangler in Australia located a venomous snake found lurking in an unusual place, the bowl of a public toilet. Tennille Banks, that's what I'm going to say, of Wildlife Empire Animal Sanctuary and Relocation Service said in a TikTok post she was called to a public restroom in Goondiwindi, Queensland, on a report of an unflushable blockage in a toilet. I bet. Banks arrived to find the toilet bowl occupied by a blue-bellied black snake, a venomous species known as the spotted black snake. Ooh. The video shows, I would imagine, Banks using a hook to scoop the serpent out of the toilet and into a bag, which she then secures closed. Banks said the snake was released into nearby bushland. Well, there you go. See, the Bush family is still good for something.
I remember growing up there in Phoenix, the big concern with toilets was black widows.
You know what? I think living in any desert climate or any place in the Southwest, you have to be aware of your surroundings, especially outdoors when you go to take your constitutionals.
Well, the other thing, and by the way, I bet you probably learned this too. Every morning in Phoenix, all us kids, 7 of us, my siblings, we would shake out our shoes before we put them on in the morning. Because you never knew if something would nest in there overnight. Arizona has scorpions, snakes, and spiders.
And airplanes.
I don't think we need to worry about those nesting.
I don't know. I mean, golf balls, I mean, you could be, wandering around and get one of those in the head. Just depends. Depends on what part of town you're in.
Gilbert's got a good driving range. I like that one.
I'm always worried when I'm in, Arizona, Florida, California, the places that I go. I'm near a lot of golf courses, so I'm always thinking I'm going to get wrapped in the head by a golf ball. Maybe that's being overly concerned for no reason, but it is the way it is. Unflushable, yes. I believe I can pre-fly, says TJ. Oh, wait. Did I miss Geary's spider story? No, you were here just in time for Geary's spider story. Well done.
Uh,
Um,
Anima is terrified of living with me because I'm a spider magnet, man. They're not afraid of me and they just wander right up to me and I'm like, hey, what's up? And they're like, hey, so we're roommates?
you're weird, dude. Read by Nature says toilet snake. That's not the usual hemorrhoid sting. No.
Yeah.
Let me tell you.
I like his
Florida,
avatar.
a place to keep your lid shut. Yes, Florida has snakes. They have lizards. They have gators. They got dangerous spiders. They got crazy stuff. Okay, so Australia and Florida have things. The whole place is trying to kill you. That's their plan.
I hated Florida. We lived there in Jacksonville for, I think, close to 5 months. And it was just the worst experience of my life as a child. I hated that place. I said, let's go back to Arizona. I don't hate this place.
I think the worst place I ever lived was in the Chicago area. So
Really?
for a variety of reasons, I'll talk about that at some point.
Okay.
But Tender Warrior 68 doesn't have to talk about much other than gifting 5 Culture Casino memberships. Thank you, Tender Warrior 68, for your generosity.
I love it when people do that. That's amazing.
Yeah, I'm truly amazed. Right now, I think we may be well over we still may be well over 500 memberships on the channel, which I just can't even fathom. I appreciate all of you. You are incredible. Incredible. Arachnophobia 2, cheek bites, and no CP. That's right, Project Cambrian, indeed. My dad almost lost his finger from a brown recluse spider bite. Yeah,
I've been bit 3 times.
they can cause this weird thing called necrosis.
Necrosis. It's
Yeah.
because what they do is their toxin works weird on the body that it lies to the T cells and makes it attack healthy tissue, confuses it, and it begins to eat healthy tissue, causing the necrosis to set in. And I've been bitten by them. I am in the 1 percentile culture that don't react to the venomous bites. I just get a pimple, and that's it. I don't get sick. I don't get the big ulcer.
Well, then I'm worried about. Are you a zombie?
No, it's just like with any disease. There's always going to be 1% of us that don't react to it, and I'm in the 1 percentile with the recluse spider. It just I don't react to it.
That's crazy. I know this. Palmetto bugs, which are giant flying roaches, are no bueno in the state of Florida. Those will change your day, not for the best. Let me tell you.
Mayflies do too. I hated them because they look like giant mosquitoes.
Love bugs in Florida are like your car's bane. Because like they just decorate your car. If you open your mouth at the wrong time, you may end up with love bugs in it. It's just gross.
Yep.
Really gross. All right. Well, we're gonna move on. Anima says you are a zombie. Okay, fair enough.
It's because I died as a baby and they had to revive me.
I can see that. All right. Moving on. Moving on. I feel slothful. The zoo, Miami, announces the births of 2 sloth bear cubs. There you go.
Oh,
they're so cute. They kind of look like a pup.
Yeah,
but they move slower
and with scary claws.
Yeah, they don't. Well, they do have scary claws, but they're used to hold on to like their perch.
Right.
They don't move fast enough to be bothersome because they can't. I mean, it's like
I've never heard of a sloth bear.
It's very cute.
I've heard of sloths.
I want one of those.
I've heard of bears, but I didn't know there was a sloth bear.
Oh, 2
I'm
baby
gonna have to look that
sloth
up and read about it.
Yeah, and it's not their first bunch of cubs, but it's pretty cool. They've been there. They've had sloth bears at the zoo since 1988, or at least that's when the
98.
last birth happened.
Yeah.
So I think that's fantastic. I think they're cute. I would take one. and I would love him and call him George.
I will love him and squeeze him and name him George.
I don't know. Will you want one of those? Anybody want one of those?
Yeah, they're adorable, man.
It's like a bear puppy. That's right. Wolverine. Okay.
If they were in slow-mo. Slow-mo Wolverine. I like
They don't move fast. Randy's like, bear or sloth? I'm good with one. All right. We have a question from the chat, which I will honor because it's a super chat. And it says, from Jason Dugdale, for £5 sterling. Proper money, kids. Proper money. Do you think physical media is dead because Disney is going towards streaming?
Mm-mm.
I think they're not helping.
Nope, they're hurting it. But no, people want physical media.
They do.
And there's still a demand for it. So I prefer it because I like the bonus features when I buy a movie.
I'm a big fan of bonus features too. Truly.
Especially the commentaries. I love the director commentaries. No better commentary in the world than Kurt Russell and John Carpenter.
Oh, goodness. Yeah. I mean, yeah, especially in that film.
Whether it's Escape from New York, LA, or The Thing, they always have some funny shit going on when they're talking. Just it's like they're drunk at a party telling stories, and it's just fucking great.
It's fantastic. I agree with you 1000%. Thank you, Jason Dugdale, for that. We appreciate it. And I would say Disney going towards streaming isn't helping, but there's a thirst and desire for physical media. And I have a feeling that now that people are realizing that they don't actually own anything digitally, that it's like a very expensive rental service. I think people are going to jump off the digital train. We now have the chat up next to us right now.
So well, the problem is, culture is the proprietary. You don't actually own the movie.
Mm-hmm.
When you buy something, you think you own it, but if they go out of business, shut down, sell, or whatever, you lose that media.
Yeah, you do.
So that's when I'm like, I was done with it. I'm like, I'm not interested in this shit. I want to own the film or TV show. Snowdub is here, and so is Boosh McFadden is here, my buddy Boosh.
Yeah, we said hi to Boosh and Snowdub. We got lots of other folks popping around. Appreciate it. We got some folks hopefully over on Rumble. And,
Soul Assassin is here too. Good grief.
Yeah, he's the Chatimal.
Yeah.
The Chatimal.
I love this is such a great chat.
And Zacharot's here. Good to see you, Zacharot.
Zacharot 315, yes.
Yeah. And this is the absolute truth. Original versions of film, physical media, the only way to go.
Yep.
You don't get any edits or content warnings on that garbage. Oh, hey, we have royalty here. One of the stunt people that you've seen. You don't know, but royalty, Stunt Brat 777 Smith is here. New Year. Hugs.
What's
Hugs
up?
to you. Hugs to you, dear. Thanks for being here. You are awesome. Let's see. Vets Talkins here. Knife hands with badly spelled descriptions.
That's Adam.
Yeah. Well done on that, my friend, yesterday.
It's so funny that we got Vets Talking and Boosh McFadden because I think they're related. They look a lot alike.
Well, military families, they moved around a bit. Anyway. Oh, no. I wish PC games had physical copies. I do too. I miss the days of discs.
Ditto.
Discs.
Yeah, you said it right. Discs.
Discs.
One of my favorite purchases this last year was getting the updated version of Blade Runner video game from '97. And I don't think it's all. They wanted to do something, but he's your daddy.
Boosh. Does Adam know that? Oh.
Adam's got some
Love Fridays.
Combat fatigue.
Snowdub says, a Colombian marching powder and ladies of the evening with puppets is a ritual. Yes. Oh, that's right. You do things on your channel. Yeah.
I love Snowdub, man. We got to hang out recently, and it was that moment from Step Brothers. Are we best friends now? I think we are,
Yeah.
because it was like we had so much in common. It was ridiculous.
We're all inbred in the military. All
It's
right.
true.
That's right. If you want a new game, buy an arcade machine. That's right.
Oh my God, dude. I've always wanted to
In
own arcade games.
in my garage right now, I have a full-size original cabinet. Everything's original. Tutankhamun machine.
Oh man.
Yeah.
You know, the one I want is Bandito.
Oh, there you
I love
go.
that game.
I would kill for an original Dark Knight pinball machine.
Dude, I played on that. That thing was great.
Yeah.
It had the 2 tiers. Oh, it was
Mhm.
nice. That was a fun pinball game.
Was one of the first ones with the digital scoring and the sound effects and everything. It was so good. Like in the voices, you've got the power, you've got the might. You know you can do it. Beat the Black Knight. Anyway.
Oh, Snowdub says we're the bestest of friends. Snowdubs
All right. Well,
are awesome.
we had one more weird story to cover. You know what?
Let's do it. You don't want to do it?
We'll do it. Let's do it.
Okay, good.
Boom. Toronto man runs 242 marathons in 1 year.
What? How can you do that and live?
I don't know, but he did. Yeah. So he ran 242 freestyle marathons. In other words, he just ran them. So his name was Ben Pobjoy, who called his project Marathon Earth Challenge. He traveled across North America, South America, Europe, Africa, and Asia, running 26.2 miles in each location. He ended up running a total of 242 of his solo marathons in 2023 in an attempt to break the Guinness World Record for the most marathons completed in a year. The record is currently held, which means he didn't do it, right? Oh, wait, no, he did do it. By a man, Larry Macon, whatever, ran 239 marathons in 2012. So he submitted his evidence to the world record folks at Guinness for review. So there you go.
He didn't have to win, but he ran them. Gotcha.
He just ran a lot. But
Ironcaster is here too. What's up?
Yeah, yeah. He's like Junior. He's like, anyway, Culture Casino Junior. That's what somebody called him the other day. I'm like, all right,
that's funny.
Anyway. We've got Jason Dugdale for another £5 sterling. That's proper money, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for that, Dugdale, Mr. Jason Dugdale. Would you buy physical media from recent movies? If I could,
a handful.
Yeah. There are.
I just watched Gran Turismo last night, dude.
Great film.
Oh my God.
Sony did a great job with that. Wonderful
that is
cinematography.
A great freaking movie.
If I could get a physical copy of Equalizer 3, another film.
Loved it.
Totally worth it.
Loved it. Yeah, I totally agree with you. There are some good films. It's like, even though we know that there's a lot of crap out there right now, there's also some really good films that they still make.
Indeed. Ah, yeah. Oh, wait. Yeah, if you can get the Muppet Show on Blu-ray, that would be fantastic.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And not edited.
What was Ironcaster waiting for? Hang on. Gerry,
Ironcaster suggested, there it is.
Gerry, yeah, you know what? He does look a lot like me. Gerry joins the puppets. Needs to join the puppets. I agree.
I've wanted to make a puppet because I've talked to Floral about it. I wanted to make my own, and just it would be like a replica of me. And then it would just still say some of the same dickish, stupid things that I say.
11 Alpha says, I used to run 10Ks in the Army 10 miler, but never a marathon. I would like to say that running 26.2 miles or whatever it is, that seems like a lot of running. And if you aren't chased by something or in desperate need to get somewhere, I'm trying to understand why that was important.
Running in the military is like my least favorite thing to do. When I run, I would do the airborne shuffle. I learned it, and it works. You just fall forward and just keep your feet falling in front of you. And it's just a great way to shuffle to your next destination.
Ooh, Channel Surf is working on his new Godzilla premium pin right now.
Ooh.
Oh,
I
I
love the
have.
new Godzilla, by the way.
Oh, Godzilla
-1.
minus one was just brilliant. I don't think I've seen a better film. And we mentioned two great films this year, but Godzilla minus one still is hands down the winner for me this year.
Well, you
So,
had Oppenheimer, which Tom and I talked about.
yeah.
We did a whole show on it,
Mm,
and it was like, what a great movie. I was shocked. I was expecting crap, pro Oppenheimer stuff because I think he's a douche nozzle.
like
But
this.
oh my god, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Nobody's ever
yeah.
going to watch that
I'll
again.
never finish that movie.
Mm.
But I loved Oppenheimer, and it is the prequel to Godzilla minus one.
Let's see. Argentum says Disney has been crappy about releasing the Muppet Show. My sister has been scouring for the series on DVD. I have a lot of the DVDs for the Muppet Show. I don't know if I have them all. I have to double check.
It's because of the humor. It's absolutely the humor, and I know that's what they're having trouble with. The woke people over there at Disney are having trouble with the humor.
Yeah,
They're
my
the reason
good.
why we got a PG-13 on Sesame Street.
Hey, Nerd Wars is here and says people who didn't like Godzilla minus one should be put on a list and investigated. Yes, I'm with you. I
I
look.
concur.
Okay, so this is a film, despite being foreign, right? Being in Japanese and making people have to read, which I understand. Today's generation, difficulty reading, and especially reading comprehension and information processing. And it's too hard to do, even as slow as it was in this film. Okay, that's a lot of insults, but it's not that I'm wrong. But anyway, the Godzilla minus one had so many different characters in it beyond like the people characters, and I'm not just talking about the Godzilla monster. I mean, there was a definite character to every single location, every situation, the the sense of urgency in certain scenes it was done in a with dramatic effect in a way that you felt it. In fact, you felt this movie despite it being a giant rubber monster movie, right? Um, and everything about it, from the way they used the effects in it, the way they mixed in physical, theatrical effects versus special effects that were promoted with
Yeah,
obviously
because there were
CGI.
some practical effects in it.
Oh, lots of them. Yeah, there was a moment there. They used sound as a character because there were times when the most important things were done in complete silence in that film,
Hmm.
and that doesn't happen in film anymore. I,
Yeah, you got to be courageous as a filmmaker to do that. And but I will give you my nitpicks on the film. One, I felt the crying was a bit much for the main character. He should have only cried one time, and that was at the end. He
right,
should have been more stoic.
right.
I disliked that he was so emotional all the way through it. Two, I dislike some of the shots of Godzilla when he's walking because he looked like AI rather than looking like an animal moving that would sway back and forth. Instead, he moved robotically forward all the time, and it looked very unnatural. That was it. Past that, everything else, like there are shots with the CG on that when he roars that first time. Oh shit, man! And that opening scene when he's like a giant T Rex was great too, where he attacks him on the
Yeah,
island. Ugh. Hey, Dustin's here. What's up, buddy?
yeah. He loves Gary. He does. And Nerd Wars, yes, that 10 seconds at the end. There were three times they used dead silence to convey the weight. It's just this,
The
it's
weight
like,
of the moment. Yep.
yeah, so good.
And it really sucks though as a writer.
Right. Sorry.
Oh, hey, Brian. What sucks as a writer is I will like figure things out before it happens. Like the minute you see him go in and he's getting fitted into that plane,
Yeah.
and they cut the dialogue and go to a further shot of them talking, and he points back, and I know that he was right then and there. That was the foreshadowing. He already gave away that this is well, I'm not going to say what it was, but you know what it was.
Yeah. Yeah. And
I
you know
knew it
what?
right there.
I didn't mind that for a lot of reasons.
Oh, I don't
Um,
either.
and
I like foreshadowing.
okay, so there were three movies this year that drew genuine emotion from me and might have maybe made my eyes
Misty.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And Godzilla was one of those movies.
Yep.
And you know, I mean, yes, we've all suffered under the yoke of, and I think you'll agree, Yuri, under the yoke of terrible films for a long time.
Oh,
So maybe this is like, you know, like a 3-day old hamburger to a, you know, a starving man, and it tastes like the best steak ever. Maybe that's it.
it's
But
because Japan, for the most part, is very anti woke. But what's scaring me right now, and I know you're aware of this, is there's a DEI company that has its claws in Japan right now in some of the translation stuff.
you know,
So
there
he cried because it was so bad.
you don't even know. I saw movies so you didn't have to, and that's my tagline everybody's using.
All I saw from it was the opening 20 minutes, and I watched the final scene with Marion because I've had a crush on her since I was a kid.
I felt the cool breeze at the sides of my eyes. Yeah. Look, sometimes there's just weight, and you can't escape it, and especially if it touches something deep inside you that's a raw, in well, just primal. Um,
Military stuff does that to me because
yeah, yeah.
I'm
There's
so
certain.
connected to combat veterans and I'm emotionally. My daughter, she would sit next to me and we'd be watching a movie, a war film, like Black Hawk Down. Okay, we're watching Black Hawk Down, and I'm sitting there and she will feel the rumble, and she'll turn and look at me and I'll go, "Don't look at me, don't look at me," because I'm tearing up watching it. Yeah, Karen Allen, man, she's gorgeous. Since I was a kid, I've loved her, and it was before Raiders. Animal House is where I got a crush on her.
Sorry, people responding to the fact that I watch films so they don't have to.
I do it
But
too.
hey,
People go, "Why did you watch it?" I said, "So I can write a review so you don't have to."
that's right. Hey, Tim, there's a
Tim,
spot. There's a spot open for you, buddy, because there's a certain guy not coming back to be in Kylo. You could be Kylo, bro.
he totally could. He looks so much like him.
I
I
know.
loved him, man. Good guy.
Yeah.
Good guy.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, I don't want to. This we will definitely talk about Sweet Baby Inc. at some point. Read by Nature. This is not the show for it, but we will get to it. I have 4 or
I
5
would love to
videos.
join you on that because, man,
Yeah.
I've got an opinion on them.
Yeah, I have 4 or 5 videos plotted out, so I may have to reach out to Gerry and jump on top of that. Speaking of jumping on top of things, we need to move on. I hate to do it because we're having a great
Oh, I
conversation.
thought we were going to get sexy time or something.
No, 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 no. I'm smelling dinner being cooked, so I gotta
Ooh,
move the show along.
get hurrying.
All right, so we got to talk about today's topics, my friend. That's gonna be really important to us. Um, I promise you this much. It will be very important to us.
Okay.
Um, let me get the right thing together, and here we go. Now moved on to today's topics for myself and Geary. News stories of the day, and we're going to rush through these because I want the last part of the show to be all about what Gary's doing right now and his project, because I think that's the most important thing we can talk about. So these are the news stories that, well, caught my eye after I did the 6-minute daily today. We didn't get a chance to talk about them. So let's take a look at them, shall we? Oh, wait. First of all, there we go. So Boeing still has a problem with their 737 MAX, which worries me. It keeps asking for, or they keep asking for, a exemption to safety rules. Well, let me know if you think this is a good
What?
idea, Gary. Yes, their 737 MAX airliner it wants an exemption from a safety standard designed to prevent part of the engine housing from overheating and breaking off during flight. That sounds just a little bit important, I would
That
think.
makes no sense. Like, why would they even that just making something like that publicly known is just bad marketing.
I'm kind of a little bit more than terrified, to be
Yeah.
fair. I don't think that you would want that not just publicly known. I don't think that you would want. I don't think you would. I think you'd want to fix this problem. Um, yeah. So officials said last year that Boeing was working to fix the hazard on the Max planes. In the meantime, they told the pilots to limit use of an anti-icing system. Well, that doesn't sound good
That
either.
sounds horrible.
I should people? I tell you what, if I start finding out that I'm on a 737 Max, I may not get on the plane because it sounds broke.
Somehow this feels like the snoo joke. Because either way it goes, you die from being screwed.
All I know is that they want an exemption until May of 2026.
Why do they want an exemption? Like, why on earth would you want an exemption from something like that? That's horrifying to me.
I don't know. They said they're developing a long-term solution.
Well, then bring it back when it's done.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I mean, there's still a bunch of decommissioned planes that can be recommissioned that were operating just fine.
Bring back some of those old
happened.
707s, man. I love those planes.
So here's a reaction from somebody who flies planes, Dennis Tager, who says, "You get our attention when you say people might get killed."
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we're not interested in seeing exemptions and accommodations that depend on human memory. There has to be a better way. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Geary. Does this sound good?
No, I've got a buddy who's a pilot, Doug Esposito. I'm going to have to talk to him about this because that just look. There's something inherently wrong here. Like, why would you ask for an exemption against something like that?
I don't
It
know.
doesn't make any sense. You know, are you saying that you want to get out of jail free card if your plane kills somebody?
Yeah, I wouldn't give them any exemptions.
No, none whatsoever. You fix it or you get rid of it.
Yeah, exactly. How about not fly the plane
Until you fix the
fix the
problem.
problem?
Exactly.
A doy. You don't get a lot of doy these days. You need more of it.
We need more doy. I agree.
Safety rules are often reactions to the last crash investigation and can be overreactions. Okay, but it seems like this was in place for a while. On the other 737s, I don't know.
If it occurred in more than 3 planes where they're having trouble with the anti-freezing stuff, it's a problem.
Well, consider the last time they had a problem with the 737 MAX, they were finding a way to the ground really fast because of a computer issue.
Mm-hmm.
This plane's not inspiring confidence.
I miss the old days, the fly-by-wire days.
Yeah.
Or I should say fly-by-cable days.
Yeah, rather than the like
Technology.
dial it in, have the
Yep.
computer land the plane.
Yep.
I'm not super excited.
Nope. I stopped flying a long time ago. I'm not terrified of flying. I'm not terrified of crashing. I don't trust airlines. I don't trust my life to them.
I want this meme now. I should have had this meme ready for this story. It's just fine. With the dog with everything on fire.
Oh, yeah.
I love how I've lost 150 pounds. It seems like I'm still fitting in the seats the same. They must have shrunk in the wash. Oh, the seats have definitely shrunk in the wash, bro.
Yeah, I think you sent me some of that weight. I gained like 49 pounds over, Thanksgiving and Christmas break. I got to lose this weight again.
Pretty easy to gain it if you eat a lot of carbs. But Nerd
Oh,
Wars
that's all
says,
that was available during the holidays.
"Oh, I bet." Nerd Wars says, "Turns out all the people afraid to fly were right." Well, yeah. Oh, that's right, Lil Chad. You having your show tonight? And if so, can I redirect to you? Yeah, there's still plenty of 737-8s. I agree. Oh, I would love to put that comment up there, Jason Dugdale, but I'm trying to keep the show monetized. Oh, I don't really want to talk about Jeffrey right now.
Oh, let me guess.
Yeah,
Jeffrey E.
Yeah. 737 is a great record, but this Max version is questionable. Yeah, it doesn't sound good. Yeah, they are a very successful airframe, right? Because they're not a giant thing, they're not a small thing, they are just right thing. So, yeah. We are having a show, and I thank you in advance. Okay, well, I will find you. And I have a particular set of skills. And when I find you,
I have a
anyway, so Gary, your final thoughts on planes getting safety waivers?
When I rode in my first hop, which is what you in the military, if you want to catch a flight through the military someplace, you just go to the closest air base. They've openings, they put you in. I sat on one of their jets, and the seats are facing backwards. I'm like, I will never ride a commercial air flight again. That was amazing because it's done for safety reasons for you to face backwards. And also, I trust the air crews in the military. I don't trust commercial airline personnel. There's a lot of effing around, man. A lot of effing around. So I got to be honest, I don't trust airlines. I quit flying in 2000 was the last time I took a plane. I'll take a bus, train, or drive. And if I got to go overseas, I'll take a boat.
Yeah, I feel you. I feel you. All right, let's move on from this one to, well, you want to do an entertainment story?
Sure.
Okay, Minx is canceled again. Minx, the show that was on HBO that got canceled. And then,
I've never seen the show. Is it any good?
No. Yeah, so Stars
that's
is
why
not moving. Yeah, Stars is not moving forward with the third season of the 1970s show Minx.
If it wasn't any good, how did we get 2 seasons?
Wokety woke. Anyway, yeah, so they weren't going to have a second season, but then they got a reprieve and a renewal. And then they were coming back for a season 3, and then it got canceled, and then it got rescued by Stars, and then it got canceled. So yeah, it's over now. Lionsgate is not going to move forward with it. Not going to try to shop it again. It's just gone.
What was it about?
I don't know. Set in the 70s, so yeah.
It wasn't that much stuff I really want to talk about from the 70s.
Yeah, I mean,
that was when disco was big. You know how badly that went.
Yeah. Yeah.
Private conversation.
Yeah. Oh, about the comedy. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just over, and I don't think anybody's going to miss it. It wasn't very well viewed.
Well, they spin these things, and nobody's watching these things.
Yeah.
And it's like it's the idiocracy
for me
of,
it was
of
just
Hollywood.
For me, it was just the fact that this was cancel on again, off again, on again, off again, on again, off again, like 4 times. So, I mean, for me, that's the intrigue here. Not because the show was any good, just because it was weird. Speaking of weird, Battlestar Galactica. Derek Simmons is the new showrunner of the Peacock reboot.
Who is
That's
he?
right.
Is he a good choice?
I don't know. But yeah, he's come on board as a writer, executive producer, and showrunner for the new show. Ismail Corp is, I guess, the one doing the bulk of the work, which is the creator of Mr. Robot, I guess. So it's Sam Esmail. That's it.
I never watched that show. I don't know if it was any good.
Well, I don't know that
interesting.
The reboot before this reboot was good.
It was good until the last 2 seasons.
Yeah, they didn't end it perfectly, but it still was all right.
Yeah, it was still watchable. I mean, I just felt like it kind of fizzled rather than really hit home the last 2 seasons.
I like the original show, but I'm a freak show. So.
Well, the original show, as much as I love it, had a problem, which was it was being written formulaically.
Right.
And it doesn't work with science fiction that way.
Not well.
Star Trek was written a very specific way. And Glenn A. Larson should have brought people on that knew how to write science fiction rather than formulaic TV. And I think the show would have had a better shot at surviving more than 1 season. But I liked what Ronald D. Moore did. And Ronald D. Moore got his revenge on the producers of Star Trek because they had lied to him. You know about this, that they lied to him, told him he was going to get the next Star Trek show. And then when he left, they had a meeting about the next show, Enterprise. And then he came back to get something and caught them in the act. And he got so pissed, he walked off, left, never came back, and went off and created Battlestar Galactica. And Les Moonves hates science fiction. And he threatened Star Trek Enterprise, says, if you don't get the numbers up by season 3, I'm canceling the show. They got the numbers up, but he still canceled the show. Why? Because it wasn't Battlestar Galactica enough. So Ronald D. Moore got his revenge.
Yeah. And he did. And you know what? He did a great job with that show, especially the first few seasons. And Little Chad's channel is Ascendant Art. So it has nothing to do with his name. But the channel's fun. It's really more comedic relief. It's very niche, and it's definitely worth a few laughs. Let me tell you, I love it. I love to be able to pop in there.
I've never watched it. I'm going to check it out.
Yeah, he's fun. Lil Chad's brilliant. He has a very deep knowledge of cinema.
I like people like that because I like, Keith and I have encyclopedic memory about film and television.
Lil Chad can tell you specifically, especially the era that he was really very involved in it. Plus, he's got a brilliant business mind. So Lil Chad is a dude I can hang out with. But speaking of somebody I miss and am grateful I get to hang out with, at least for a minute, Rough Girl is here with a
Rough Girl. We're friends on Facebook. What's up?
It's great to see you, dear. It's been a minute. Happy New Year's, you sexy.
Happy New Year to you.
Thank you, dear. We really appreciate you. And Happy New Year. It's been a minute. I hope you're doing well. I really do.
She's been quiet on Facebook.
Yeah, we are rebooting a reboot. Yes, you guys are on fire in the chat, by the way. Thank you for that. Let's see what else is happening.
That reminds me of the joke.
I gotta work. I got to work on Star Trek Next Generation. Really? I shot Worf and he shot me. See? This is why I love it. So we have people who worked in the industry. Stunt Brat 777 Smith was a stunt person. I'll say it that way. And has many, many credits. And I always consider it an honor.
Well, for Stunt Brat, I will do this right now. Klingons do not laugh.
There we go. There you go. All right. One last thing. And well, no, I'm not even going to bother. We need to get to Gerry. We got to get back to Gerry. Gerry's
because you got dinner.
Gerry's doing good stuff, and I like good stuff. All right, I do. I really like good stuff, and I'm not sharing anything, so let's get rid of that. Gerry, I'm going to tell you something. I don't take it personally. Okay, plug yourself.
Oh, good. There it started. It was like you kind of froze, it seemed. Like, when do I talk? Yeah, so here we are, guys. Again, I'm a 20-year comic professional, 35-year art professional, and I've got a graphic novel that I'm going to finish up this year. It is part one of a 3-part graphic novel series that will take a couple of years for us to finish up. Richard Bonk's going to be working with me on one chapter, which is very exciting. I was trying to figure out how to get him involved because the artwork needs to be drawn by one artist, really. But there's a flashback scene, and it's a whole chapter all by itself. And he's going to do the flashback chapter. So it doesn't have to look like the rest of the book because it's flashback. So we need to get the funding to pay for him to do the artwork and to finish paying me so I can keep the lights on while I finish this book. And it's probably going to take me 3 months to finish the book. I've already got 9 new pages sketched out. But I want to be able to get in there and do the fine art and do everything, plus do all the lettering. And the book is in black and white for a reason. We colored some of the pages, and I got to be honest, it looks better black and white. It just looks right. It's a dark tale, and black and white just works with this kind of story. Uh, it's very, it's very gritty, dark, violent. The violence isn't gratuitous, but it is obviously very realistic. If somebody gets stabbed, I show how they get stabbed. I show how they fight, whether they're doing it through combat with weapons to hand. Everything's done very accurately. I worked with a fight choreographer for some of the fight scenes that will occur in book 2, even though you do see a glimpse of it in book 1. But everything's planned out for the next 2 books after this one. And I'm going to do 1 book per year, and each book is going to be 155 pages. And I'm getting high praise from Mike Barron and Chuck Dixon. They got to read 3 of the chapters. That's close to 66 pages of the book they've gotten to read. And they said that this is their kind of book. This is what they love. And that they're singing praises for my book makes me very happy and very proud. So I'm hoping that other people will be interested in buying this book and investing in the production of it. We need a total of $6,000 to do the artwork. Most of that's going to go to Richard because Richard deserves it. He's one of the best artists out there, and I love that guy so much. He is such a good visual storyteller, and I've worked with him several times, and I just want to get him working with me as much as possible. And the last part of the campaign, I'm not going to worry about up front because, to be honest, that's the printing. And it's going to take us probably anywhere from 3 to 6 months total to finish all of the artwork for the book. And once we get that done, then we can do the printing. And I'm certain that by that time we'll have the full campaign. But if we can fund this thing right now, that'd be great. We have until the 27th of January for this campaign. So if you've not become a contributor, please consider doing it. If you can't afford to contribute, please share it. And I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to play the trailer, if that's okay with you, Culture. Yeah. Are you not getting any? Yeah, I can do that. No problem. Stop. Reshare entire screen. Make sure the audio is on. Share. And we'll do it again. Now,
Perfect.
Let me know if you hear it.
Meet the Seattle Vigilante. Like so many comic heroes, this warrior hides his identity. But his identity isn't the only secret he has to keep. After grievous wounds received during combat, Tier 1 operator John Russell begins to recover and comes to terms with his new reality of being an amputee. And as he learns how to use his new prosthetic limb, he finds himself caught up in the bureaucratic red tape that too many wounded veterans experience, the exhausting medboard process. Out of sheer frustration, John takes it out on the criminal scum of the city. But when reality kicks in, John realizes he's started something that's having an impact on the greater world around him, and thus has to reevaluate his motives. And moreover, just how far is John willing to go to finish this war he's declared against the criminals in Seattle? And will he even survive? From the creator of IDW's award-winning graphic novel Code Word Geronimo comes a new story about a different kind of warrior, Vindicated Inc., the first of its kind disabled veteran action hero comic. The Vindicated Inc. graphic novel crowdfunding campaign on fundmycomic.com is provided in the description of this video. We hope you become a contributor. Please share this link. Thank you.
So there you go. I want to thank Shinatsky for doing the animation for me on that, and for Tom for doing the voiceover.
I thought I recognized that voice.
It was originally supposed to be Dale Dye, but Dale Dye got sick and lost his voice. And in the last minute, I was in a panic, and Tom jumped in and said, "Hey, I'll do it for you." And I'm like, "Thank you, buddy." So I may go ahead and have Tom do the new updated trailer too. And I think that that trailer pretty much explains what the story's about. It's a military soldier who's going through the med board process, gets frustrated, takes it out on criminals, but then discovers that what he's doing is having an impact on society. So he begins to take it more seriously, what he's doing. And in the process discovers that there's more going on than even he realized. And he ends up doing an interview with a reporter where he gives him what he refers to as a preamble to war. And he's declaring war on all crime in the city. He's not worried about Billy Bob, the local weed dealer. What he's worried about are the people that are making, financing, and benefiting from these crimes, the big people. And he wants to basically dig into a vein, work his way to the heart, and cut the heart out. What's that? It's a self-insert. Gary lost his left. I did not. Shut up, Bush. Oh, can't hear you, Culture.
I can't wait for this to come out. And because you're sharing in the back here, we're getting a read. So I'm going.
I'll stop sharing.
Yeah. So I'm more than excited for you. I think this is great. I love that you're using Fund My Comic as your platform.
And I'm only using that one because I told him today when I had him on today, I said, I'm sticking with you guys because I don't like Indiegogo and I definitely don't like Kickstarter. I've done successful campaigns on both of them, and I'm not interested in working with either of them after what they've done to people.
Yeah, and if anybody's curious, I just put the link in the chat. You can go and check this out in full, rewatch the trailer, check out all the amazing art, get your free copy of the first couple of pages there, first couple of chapters, excuse me. Yep. And I think you'll be amazed. It's very much worth your while. It's worth funding Gerry and everybody else that's involved in this project. And I hope you guys are as supportive of it as I am. His art is amazing. Gerry has been doing this for a very long time in various formats, and I have to say, it's always beautiful. We got to get Gerry to 10K, if not more. Again, it's just a goal. You can go past the goal. We help people do that. And Gerry, how do you like Fund My Comic? Well, I love it. How do you like it, Gerry?
I love it. I love the guys there. Look, Luke and Hojo, man. I love talking to these guys. Hojo's a veteran like me, and he's so into what I'm doing with this book. But both of them like it, and they said they created the platform really for himself. Luke did, but when it came down to it, he was looking for helping people like me, get these books done. Because nobody else wants to make comics like this. Everybody wants to do superhero stuff, and I could give two shits about superhero stuff, comics. I don't want to do that. I want to do gritty, realistic thrillers with action, violence, and some science fiction and horror.
Yeah,
but it's, again, very realistic stuff.
Yeah, and I appreciate that. And if you've ever seen, and you have seen his art, you just don't know it. It's always top notch. And he's got other comic creators on his team that are really behind him, like Mike Barron and a few others. So the Bloody Baron's one of my favorite
And I'm close friends with Graham Nolan. He's the one who named our show Pop Culture Minefield.
That's great.
Graham Nolan.
Yep. And Nerd Wars, yeah, do check out Fund My Comic. Talk to the creators over there. Talk to Luke. Luke's available. It's not like he's not known. Yeah, this is the very, very heart of the truth. Indiegogo and Kickstarter may not be our friends. Well, especially not Kickstarter.
Nope.
On that note, Gerry just describes Seattle. On that note, support veterans like Gerry and many others out there, and for those that are disabled. And do check out his book. Any last words you want to say before we dip out of here, my friend, and I promote everybody else that's live tonight?
Oh, I just looked over on the front page. We're still on the front page.
Yes.
So I like that. Hopefully, we'll see more funding.
Yep.
But I guess the only thing I want to say is I appreciate coming on with you, Culture. You're one of my favorite people. You know that. You and Valiant are two guys that I put a lot of credit into listening to. The information you guys dig up, man, wow. And I'm always grateful to get to hang out with you, man.
Yeah, I miss being able to pop in on Pop Culture Minefield. It's been too long. I will see you soon. It's always a good time.
Hopefully next week, because we got Cameron Pasha joining us next week.
Yeah. You guys really do pull some good guests. There's no doubt about it. On that note, one last question for you, Jason Dugdale. Thank you. Says, do you deliver to the UK?
Yes, but you will have to pay the shipping. And it's going to be probably like $26, I think, is what it cost the last time I shipped. It gets ridiculous sending to the UK.
So you could be $60 into this comic American just to get it shipped. And
yeah, it gets ridiculous.
The comic itself, indeed.
But I will actually look into the prices, because that was one of the things he brought up on the show today. Because I didn't complain, but I brought up the fact that you can't add things. Once somebody has grabbed a contribution, a tier, you can't add to it. And I said, you need to change that. I need to be able to add things to it. I don't want it to take away from it, but be able to add to it. Also, you need to have a proper calculator for shipping. And they're working on that. They really are. They're doing a great job at Fund My Comic. They really are.
I think they're doing a great job. I thought it was a good idea from the very beginning. And I had conversations with some folks that were doing just that at the very beginning.
Vox Day tried to do it too, Culture.
Yeah.
A few years back, and it did not work because I think he was the wrong person for it. He was too polarizing.
Perhaps, but what I love is that everybody's giving it a go. And on that note, Gerry, thanks for joining me today.
I
will be seeing you soon. You guys are going to get automatically redirected to Ascended Art. If you've never been there before, stick around for 5, 10, 15 minutes. Slender Dad, Lil Chad, and a couple other guys like Mad Mardigan are fantastic. They're always good for lots of laughs. I will be watching while I have supper, and then I'll be cruising around because a lot of my other friends go live on days like today as well. And despite the fact that Friday Night Tights went a little longer this time, I'm glad everybody showed up. We had over 80 of you live for most of the show, so thanks for being here. It was great to meet you, Anima, and everybody else that showed up here. I hope everybody has an incredible weekend, and here's the credits.